According to the National Electrical Code, specifically Section 300.22c, it is permissible to mount an electrical panel on a firewall, even with just one layer of 5/8-inch drywall behind it. However, a crucial stipulation exists. All electrical boxes and fittings used in this installation must be explicitly listed as fire-rated. This requirement ensures that the integrity of the firewall is maintained, even in the event of an electrical fault or fire within the panel. The purpose of a firewall is to prevent the spread of fire and smoke from one area to another. Any penetration of the firewall, such as those made for electrical conduits or boxes, can compromise its effectiveness. Therefore, using fire-rated components is essential to seal these penetrations and prevent the passage of fire and smoke. Fire-rated electrical boxes and fittings are designed to withstand high temperatures and prevent the spread of flames. They are typically made of materials that do not easily burn or melt, and they often include intumescent materials that expand when exposed to heat, sealing any gaps around the penetration. When selecting fire-rated electrical boxes and fittings, it is important to ensure that they are properly listed by a recognized testing laboratory such as Underwriters Laboratories or Intertek. The listing mark indicates that the product has been tested and meets the applicable fire resistance standards. It is also important to follow the manufacturer's instructions for installation to ensure that the fire resistance rating is maintained. The National Electrical Code Section 300.22c provides specific requirements for wiring in ducts used for dust, loose stock, or vapor removal, and wiring in other spaces used for environmental air. This section emphasizes the importance of using wiring methods that minimize the spread of fire and products of combustion in these types of environments. The specific requirements vary depending on the type of space and the type of wiring method used. For example, wiring in ducts used for dust, loose stock, or vapor removal must be installed in rigid metal conduit, intermediate metal conduit, electrical metallic tubing, dust-tight wireways, or Type MI cable. These wiring methods are designed to prevent the spread of fire and products of combustion in these hazardous environments. Wiring in other spaces used for environmental air must be installed in accordance with the requirements of 300.22c3. This section specifies the types of wiring methods that are permitted and the conditions under which they can be used. In general, wiring methods that are enclosed in metal raceways or cables with a metal armor are preferred in these types of spaces. These wiring methods provide a greater degree of fire protection than non-metallic wiring methods. In addition to the requirements for wiring methods, 300.22c also includes requirements for electrical equipment. Electrical equipment installed in ducts used for dust, loose stock, or vapor removal must be suitable for the environment. This means that the equipment must be dust-tight and explosion-proof. Electrical equipment installed in other spaces used for environmental air must be suitable for the environment and must be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. The National Electrical Code serves as a comprehensive guide for safe electrical installations. Compliance with the NEC, especially in critical areas like firewalls, is paramount for ensuring the safety of buildings and their occupants. Failing to adhere to these regulations can lead to serious consequences, including fire hazards and potential liability. Fire-rated boxes and fittings play a vital role in maintaining the integrity of fire-rated walls and ceilings. They are designed to prevent the spread of fire and smoke through penetrations in these barriers. The selection and installation of fire-rated boxes and fittings must be done carefully to ensure that they provide the required level of fire protection. Firstly, it is important to choose fire-rated boxes and fittings that are listed by a recognized testing laboratory such as Underwriters Laboratories or Intertek. The listing mark indicates that the product has been tested and meets the applicable fire resistance standards. Secondly, it is important to select the appropriate fire resistance rating for the application. The fire resistance rating is the amount of time that the box or fitting is able to withstand fire exposure without failing. The required fire resistance rating will depend on the type of wall or ceiling that is being penetrated and the occupancy of the building. Thirdly, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions for installation. The manufacturer's instructions will provide detailed information on how to install the box or fitting properly to ensure that it provides the required level of fire protection. In addition to following the manufacturer's instructions, there are some general guidelines that should be followed when installing fire-rated boxes and fittings. 1. The opening in the wall or ceiling should be as small as possible. 2. The box or fitting should be installed tightly against the wall or ceiling. 3. Any gaps around the box or fitting should be sealed with a fire-resistant sealant. 4. The wiring should be properly supported to prevent it from pulling on the box or fitting. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that fire-rated boxes and fittings provide the required level of fire protection and help to prevent the spread of fire and smoke. When dealing with firewalls and electrical installations, understanding the specific requirements outlined in the National Electrical Code is critical. Section 300.22c addresses wiring in ducts used for dust, loose stock, or vapor removal, and wiring in other spaces used for environmental air, which often includes areas where firewalls are present. This section mandates the use of wiring methods and equipment that minimize the spread of fire and products of combustion. Electrical metallic tubing, often referred to as EMT, is a common raceway used in electrical installations. However, when it comes to firewalls, the NEC places restrictions on its use, especially in certain environments. While EMT can be used in some areas, it's crucial to understand where it's permitted and where it's not. In locations where firewalls are present, the NEC often requires more robust wiring methods, such as rigid metal conduit or intermediate metal conduit. These raceways offer superior protection against fire and physical damage compared to EMT. The choice of wiring method depends on the specific environment and the level of fire protection required. In areas where dust, loose stock, or vapors are present, the NEC typically mandates the use of rigid metal conduit, intermediate metal conduit, electrical metallic tubing, dust-tight wireways, or Type MI cable. These wiring methods are designed to prevent the spread of fire and products of combustion in these hazardous environments. In other spaces used for environmental air, the NEC provides more flexibility in the choice of wiring methods, but it still emphasizes the importance of using wiring methods that are enclosed in metal raceways or cables with a metal armor. These wiring methods provide a greater degree of fire protection than non-metallic wiring methods. It's important to note that the NEC is a constantly evolving document, and the requirements for wiring in firewalls and other hazardous locations can change over time. Therefore, it's essential to stay up to date on the latest code revisions and to consult with a qualified electrical inspector to ensure that your installations are compliant. When working with firewalls, it's crucial to understand the difference between a fire-rated assembly and a fire-resistant assembly. A fire-rated assembly is a construction that has been tested and certified to resist the passage of fire for a specific period of time. The fire resistance rating is typically expressed in IRs, such as 1 IR, 2 IR, or 3 IR. A fire-resistant assembly, on the other hand, is a construction that has been designed to resist the passage of fire, but it has not been tested or certified. Fire-resistant assemblies are often used in areas where fire protection is not as critical, such as in non-load-bearing walls or ceilings. When penetrating a fire-rated assembly, it's essential to use fire-rated products and systems that are designed to maintain the fire resistance rating of the assembly. This includes fire-rated boxes, fittings, sealants, and other products that have been tested and certified to resist the passage of fire. When penetrating a fire-resistant assembly, it's still important to use fire-resistant products and systems, but the requirements may not be as stringent. In general, it's always best to err on the side of caution and use fire-rated products and systems whenever penetrating a firewall or other fire-rated assembly. This will help to ensure that the integrity of the firewall is maintained and that the spread of fire is minimized. It's important to note that the NEC is not the only code that governs electrical installations. Other codes, such as the International Building Code and the International Fire Code, may also have requirements for electrical installations in firewalls and other fire-rated assemblies. Therefore, it's essential to consult with a qualified building official or fire marshal to ensure that your installations comply with all applicable codes. In addition to the requirements for wiring methods and equipment, the NEC also includes requirements for the installation of fire alarms and other life safety systems. These systems are designed to detect fires and alert occupants so that they can evacuate the building safely. Fire alarm systems must be installed in accordance with the requirements of NFPA 72, the National Fire Alarm Code. This code specifies the types of fire alarm systems that are required in different types of buildings and the installation requirements for these systems. Life safety systems, such as emergency lighting and exit signs, must be installed in accordance with the requirements of the International Building Code and the International Fire Code. These codes specify the types of life safety systems that are required in different types of buildings and the installation requirements for these systems. When installing fire alarms and other life safety systems, it's essential to use qualified contractors who are familiar with the applicable codes and standards. This will help to ensure that the systems are installed properly and that they will function as intended in the event of a fire. In conclusion, mounting electrical panels on firewalls requires careful consideration of the NEC requirements and the use of fire-rated components. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that your electrical installations are safe and compliant and that the integrity of the firewall is maintained.